that about?
Girls Night with a Purpose. It's really great.
Girls Night with a Purpose.
With a purpose.
Okay.
I invite my family and friends over, and I ask them to bring toiletry products that we can package in gift bags and donate to shelters. And what we're doing for one of the upcoming Girls Night is to do the same packaging, but we're going to do it to contribute to two friends of mine that have family in Haiti. That's, you know, they've just been so devastating what happened, and they've been adversely affected by the disaster there. So we're doing our part. You know, we've all contributed money and we've donated money. But, you know, for folks that you know that have, and friends that you know that have family, that they're going to be going down to see them, some of those immediate items or the more tangible items that they can take with them on their flight down will be more beneficial than you know.
Certainly.
Yes.
And you have some other things here too. The Girls Night program and donating the food. And you talked about that.
Yes.
And the Family Crisis Center.
Yes.
And Martha's Table.
Martha's Table, yes.
Okay, tell us about those.
Usually participate with Martha's Table to go down and prepare meals for usually on Sundays sometimes before church, to go down and prepare meals. I also did that with Sunil, with our daughter. And then also for the Family Crisis Center, work with them over the holidays, and they had Adopt a Family program where they collected toys and items and personal items for their residents at the Family Crisis Center. So I work with them in collecting the items and also donating items and donating time to actually assist and support their efforts as well. And
this is a group of married women that are working there, right?
For the contestants for the pageant, they're all married.
All married.
All of us are married.
That's the qualification.
We're all married, career moms, and all married career moms with maybe 5 or 6 jobs when you count it, between being a mom, being a wife, taking care of the household, being involved in volunteerism and community service and giving back to our communities, as well as participating in the Mrs. Maryland pageant. So our plates are pretty full.
You have all of that on your table.
All of that and a little bit more. But
have time. Well, tell us about it.
You know, it's an interesting balance. It really is an interesting balance. And it really, the support of your family, you know, your husband and your children really come into play. Right. And it's critically important.
Very important.
It's critically important because, as I said before, it's very difficult to strike that balance. It can be, and, you know, you can feel pulled in the different directions, but if you just kind of step back and really think about what you're doing and realizing that, you know, you're really giving back, and there are people out there that are less fortunate than you.
Yes.
That don't have what you have, and they don't have the opportunities you have. 1 hour out of the day, 1 day out of the week can make the difference in their lives, in extending your right hand to them and, you know, giving them some words of encouragement. And it may not be that you spend 1 hour, it could be half an hour. It could be mentoring a student. It could be just speaking to someone and trying to uplift them and giving them some words of encouragement. Sometimes it's the smallest things.
Wow.
And I usually laugh and said, you know, sometimes it's the smallest things that make the difference.
Right.
It really is. You know, it's a kind word. It's a hug. You know, it's telling someone it's okay. I've been in your shoe before, and I understand what you're going through. And it's okay for you to cry. Right. You know, it's okay for you to share, and it's okay for you to, you know, lay your burden on someone else's shoulder, so that, you know, you can help get through what you're going through.
Okay, what about this time? We're talking about time. What about you, past president of the Marlboro Boys Club?
Yes, I was the president of the Marlboro Boys and Girls Club, actually, from 2006 through to 2008. And it was interesting when it happened because it was right as my husband was being deployed to Iraq.
No kidding.
So he was in Iraq from 2006 to 2007. Right. And during that time, I was, during that 1 year while he was gone, I was the president from 2006 to 2008. Thank you.
And then you had all of that pressure too, by him being in Iraq.
Yes.
And then doing these things in the community.
Yes.
Well,
it was rewarding. It was very rewarding, and it also kept me busy,
right.
and it kept me involved because our daughter, as I said, was very active in the Boys and Girls Club. So she was doing cheerleading and she was doing track. So it helped me track and field.
So you stayed busy.
I stayed busy. I really didn't have a moment or too much time to really sit back and think too much. Though I was really worried about him and concerned, but you know, I knew God would bring him back safely and.
Yes.
He would come back home to us, and you know that really helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because I kept busy.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Now, go over that road to Mrs. United States again, so all of the people will know. You know, here we want to support Sandra Bryant Greer, okay? There's a lot of ways that you can support her.
Yes.
Now, what's that phone number again?
It's 301-646-7618. And also my blog, you can follow me on my blog, I mentioned earlier. And, you know, you can follow my journey. It'll, I'm updating my blog every day and posting pictures and posting information on events that I've done and my involvement in the community, and a pending schedule of what's to come. As Mrs. Mid-State US 2010, the next step for me, of course, is April the 24th. In order for me to move on, I pray, to the Mrs. United States pageant. So we will see what the Lord have in store for me.
And that's going to be in Vegas,
That's going to be in Las Vegas, yes.
Right.
So April 24th is my next stop. And that's going to be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And from Harrisburg, if God blesses me, then I will be moving on to Las Vegas to compete for the state of Maryland and on behalf of the state of Maryland for the Mrs. United States pageant.
Okay, now, one thing we skipped over, you mentioned it, but just give us an idea and the audience how important it is for mentoring your children to go to school. Tell us, how do you go about that?
You know, sometimes you have
to... Give the parents some advice.
Okay, sure I will.
Okay.
And, you know, in talking to our daughter, one of the things that we really got to understand early was, you know, initially they're not exactly sure sometimes what they want to major in. And it's important for us to sometimes step back and allow them to come up with a list of 3 or 4 or 5 things that they're really interested in, that really pique their interest as far as what is it I want to do. Because we really don't want to have them go for a career or go to college for something that they're not really interested in,
something
that we're interested in.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
Yes, you'll be stuck with a $150,000 bill, and they'll be starting off in a whole different career doing something else. So part of it is really kind of finding out from them what really it is that they're interested in, making sure that they're staying on top of their academics, because it's very important to have high academic standing. It's very competitive out there now for scholarships, more competitive than it's been in decades. So they really have to have a whole profile package together so that they can really sell themselves. And it really has to be a good balance of their academics as well as their athletics, as well as their involvement in other community service throughout the community and volunteerism, as well as other involvement during their school, you know, whether it's the student government or, you know, it's the art club or it's other parts, you know, it's the international club, it's a law club. It's really, really important that they get as much involved as possible so that they have a full package. And you know, it's a well-rounded profile package that they send off with their applications, because schools are really looking very hard at that. From an athletic standpoint, in our household, the guideline was our daughter could not compete or she could not participate unless she had at least a 3.0 GPA. Okay. So that was the guideline. Set standards. That's our standard that we set in our household. You know, the school standard, some schools are 2.0, some are 2.5. Ours was at least a 3. We were like, you have to have at least a 3.0 to participate in anything. So you really have to set the standards with them so that they understand that you have to have that minimum. Because even looking at them for a college scholarship, schools will turn an athlete down that could be ranked number 1, 2, or 3, or 4 in the country. A 4-year university that's a Division I school could well turn them down because they don't have that high academic standing. And they may end up having to go to a 2-year community college in order for them to improve on their grades and their academics.
Well, actually, that is a step, you know, with the economy like it is. The community colleges are really coming to light now.
Yes.